Hi girls, welcome back to Pretty and Purpose with your host, me and Ninel, where we sit down and talk about how to become our best selves while living a life in purpose and just enjoying the ride of navigating our 20s, y'all. Before we start today's episode, I do want to give a special shout out to Jasmine Parchment. I believe that's what I'm saying. I do want to do highlight reviews from you all. I love to hear your feedback and just shout y'all out because y'all are commenting and engaging with me, and I love that. So her comment says, I love this concept and the way so many like-minded individuals have been popping up in my suggested. So interested in where this channel will go. I'm definitely subscribing. Thank you so much. I appreciate that very, very much. I'm so excited to see where the podcast goes. But yeah, so make sure to comment as well down below and like and comment and subscribe and everything to be featured in next week's podcast episode. Mwah, I love y'all. So if you can tell by the title, today's episode will basically be about loneliness and how loneliness does not correlate with being alone, and how being alone does not correlate feeling lonely, y'all. I know that society tells us that if we're alone that we're gonna feel lonely or whatever the case is. I know that when you see like your friends or even just people on Instagram that you follow, like you see them hanging out on a Friday night, living their best lives and everything. That's where you can start to compare and start feeling that loneliness, where loneliness starts to hit you, y'all. But in all truthfulness, being alone does not have to be a punishment. It does not have to be something where you torture yourself with, y'all. In fact, being alone is probably one of the best things that you could ever do for yourself, to be honest, y'all. So today I'm going to be talking all about how I embrace being alone and feeling comfort in myself and not having to be surrounded by people all the time, every day, 24/7, and how you can too, girl. So before we hop into anything, the first thing I want to talk about is, why is it that so many of us are scared to be alone and just be by ourselves? So by default, we're human. It's human nature that we all crave connection with other people. We crave relatability, y'all. We crave that energy from another human, y'all. It's just human nature, literally. But sometimes we get confused with being alone and feeling lonely and feeling like those two correlate, when in reality they don't. So we tend to think that if we're alone, or if we don't have someone with us 24/7, or a physical being by us all the time, we're missing out. Or worse, that we're less than. And in all actuality, y'all, that is completely false. In fact, being alone doesn't correlate to your self-worth. This does not have anything to do about your worth or your love for yourself, y'all. It's actually a time where you can show up for yourself and be there for you, and start taking those steps to understand who you are. That's a great time to understand who you are and the things that you like. Being alone is actually a great opportunity for you to build a deeper relationship with yourself. Y'all, I've had so many friends, groups, whatever the case is, and where I was surrounded by people but still felt alone. In high school, y'all, I had a group of friends. Even though I did go with them everywhere, like we were like this in high school, and we were hanging out all the time at school physically, but I didn't want to be alone, because why would I want to walk around in school alone, y'all? So I just hung out with them, even though I knew that we weren't gonna last, friendship wise. I knew that friendship was doomed to end, obviously, because we aren't friends anymore right now. So I knew from the get-go that the friends that I had then weren't going to be the friends that I have now. So I just say all this to say that even though I had all those people around me, those friends that I had around me, I didn't have a emotional connection with them. Yeah, I wasn't alone. People saw that I wasn't alone, but inside and within, I felt alone. I was still alone, even being surrounded by people, Even though I was with people, I was still alone. And you know what, y'all? Feeling lonely or having that loneliness lingering, it is not even about the physical appearance of somebody. Sometimes it is that emotional connection with other people or within yourself that you have to work on. Clearly, that is something that I needed to work on, because I was surrounded by people but still felt lonely. Still felt like I was on my own majority of the time, and I was still surrounded by friends around me. So that goes to show you something. There's so many people out there that are alone and are content with that. I have gotten to a point where I actually love my alone time. But we're going to get into that a little later. I want to keep like kind of sprinkling in some advice for y'all. So that kind of shifts me into my next point. So I believe that it takes a mind shift. So how do you go from, oh, I'm so alone, I don't have anybody, I'm just lonely, I'm this, to I'm at peace with it. I'm at peace of being by myself. I'm at peace with knowing who I am, and that's okay. I don't have to have anybody around me all the time. So how do you make that switch, y'all? So I'm about to tell y'all. So the first thing that you need to do, you need to start reframing. So instead of like saying, I'm always by myself, I'm just lonely, start saying I'm spending time with myself. I'm loving myself. I'm going to get to know myself in these alone moments, you know? Think about it. If you had a friend that you just didn't, y'all was friends, but y'all would never spend time with each other, how would that relationship grow? It wouldn't at all, because y'all don't know each other. Y'all don't know who you guys are. So obviously that friendship will not grow unless you start spending time with that friend, y'all. Clearly, that's literally what you need to do with yourself. You wouldn't know them, or you wouldn't know their needs. So start kind of thinking of it like that, like you're your own friend. Start understanding your friends. Start understanding your wants and your needs. When I started like carving out intentional spaces for me to spend time with myself, I didn't see it as oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. I started seeing it as a gift, because there's so many people out there that don't understand the emotional intelligence it takes to sit down with yourself and work out all those traumas. And because majority of the time, that's what it is. You're scared to be by yourself because of childhood trauma, or just trauma in general, y'all. Like, that's all really it comes down to. You don't want to be alone, because then you're alone with your thoughts. You're alone with the overthinking. You're just alone with everything that you don't want to be alone with. So you try to cover it up with people around you and just guard it off. But ultimately, that's not going to be the way, because you are still going to be alone even with a presence of people. So I know y'all probably like thinking, okay girl, like I get what you're saying now, but how do I even get to actually enjoying time with myself? Like, how do I even start enjoying being alone? Hold on, like y'all, let me take a quick water break. ASMR. But I know y'all like how do we get there? And I'm going to tell y'all. So the first thing that you want to do is get to know yourself. Get to know your passions. Do things that light you up. Like, do you like journaling? Do you like sitting down and writing down everything you're grateful for? Do you like hiking? Do you like walking? Do you like swimming? Stuff like that. Like, really sit down with yourself and understand, what is your passion? What are you happy about? What makes you want to like just get so fluttered about, y'all? Starting this podcast was definitely one of them, and I'm so happy like I was able to find that passion within myself, because even though I'm sitting here talking with y'all, I'm also talking to myself. And I also like to go back to these videos and really take in everything that I'm telling y'all, take it in for myself. When I'm starting to feel less confident, I'm gonna go watch that video. When I'm feeling alone, when I'm feeling lonely, I'm going to go back and watch this video, because it all stems from within. It all starts from what's going on inside, and what we can do to fix it, and what we can do to start making those changes to start loving ourselves from within. And I know a lot of times people think that alone means like you have to sit in silence or whatever the case is, but no, it's not even about that. It's about filling those spaces with activities, with things that you love to do, y'all. I just started going to the gym, and I've been wanting to do it because I just feel like I just want to better my health. You know, anything can happen. I'm 20 years old. Oh, I'm 20 years old, but you know, anything can happen. I'm not free from any of that. My family has health issues. You're not free. You know, just, you know, you still have to take care of yourself. And even though, you know, I looked at it as that, I also looked at it as like, okay, this is a time where I can get to know myself, know my strengths, know my weaknesses, know what I can work on, what I need to work on, all that stuff. And I really did enjoy my time at the gym. And I'm going tomorrow, and I'm going to keep it up. I'm also doing 75 hard, which I'm so excited about. So I'll keep y'all updated on that. But, you know, it could be activities that you really enjoy. And I encourage working out. I encourage journaling. I encourage hiking. I encourage all of that, because at the end of the day, it's for your health, and it's for you to know yourself. The next thing that I do recommend is creating rituals for yourself. Like, light a candle, make a coffee for yourself. I got a little like what is this, like a watermelon, or no, strawberry little cup that I like to have on my desk when I'm doing my podcast. Or I like to play my favorite podcast episode, or I like to listen to music. It's totally up to what you feel is best and what you think you would enjoy doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it fun, make it like enjoyable. Don't think of it as a chore, or you're not gonna do it, obviously. And then the next thing that I do recommend is to talk to yourself. Yes, like literally sit here and have a conversation with yourself. Like, ask, how are you feeling? What are you feeling in that moment? What are your needs? What is something that you're not like getting? And how can you get those things? What steps can you take to reach that need or fulfill that need that you're feeling? Because no one can feel it for you. You have to feel it for yourself. So start talking to yourself and really getting to know what you enjoy, what you need to figure out, stuff like that. Like, really sit there and understand yourself. Get to know you. And I think in general, we just need to understand the power of solitude. When you're comfortable in your own space, when you're comfortable being alone, that makes you unstoppable and so much stronger, y'all. You stop craving that external validation. You start looking within on what you need to validate within yourself. You stop depending on others for your emotional cup. Like, you stop wanting other people to fill your cup with emotional needs, and you start understanding what your emotional needs are and how you can fulfill it yourself. Solitude teaches you independence. It teaches you self-awareness, and it teaches you to trust your intuition. When you're alone and you start taking those steps to understand yourself, you become in tune with yourself and you start trusting your gut more than ever. And I so recommend that. You deserve it. You know, it is only going to do you good with knowing who you are and how to take those steps to know yourself and have self-respect and worth. And when you can start trusting yourself and having that self-awareness, trust me, y'all, no one can literally take that away from you ever, no matter what. They will literally be trying to figure out how you're doing, how you're like, you would just be so unstoppable, y'all. Just being able to be comfortable in your own space and your own like thoughts and just finding out what you need. It's going to be a blessing in disguise. And before, I wrap this up, I do want to say that there is even a few things that you can start doing this week. Plan a solo date. I love going on solo dates. I want to do it more, but I think I'm just a little nervous going out. But I do like taking myself out to eat, just treating myself and getting to know myself. What is it that I like to eat? Do I like want to try this stuff on my own? Or like, you could even unplug for 30 minutes. No phone, no tablet, no music, no iPad, no computer, no none of that. Like, sit there in silence. You can literally sit there in silence. I think that is so therapeutic as well. Just staring at the wall, or just like it. It don't have to be like that, but I do like doing that as well, because I can just sit there and really regulate my system, and just get to know what it is. Am I hungry right now? Am I looking for a new book to read? Am I, it depends, like, does that make sense, y'all? I hope it does, because I want you to know that it's okay to be alone. You don't have to be surrounded by somebody every second of the day, because that is so unfulfilling as well. Not knowing yourself and then wanting to be by someone 24/7 can be just as draining. So to all my beautiful listeners, remember, you are never truly alone, because you always have yourself. And that is and will forever be one of the most beautiful connections that you'll ever have. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to leave a review down below. I would love to hear your thoughts and any feedback you guys want to give me. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Pretty in Purpose Pod. You can also follow me on TikTok at Pretty in Purpose Pod. I don't know about TikTok, what's going on with them, but you can follow me on there. Until next time, stay pretty and stay in purpose. Love you guys. Bye.